11th September 2001, a horrifying day that shook America to the core. A day that perhaps changed the world forever. Even after 20 years, the effects of this day can be seen in your daily life. You won't believe it how this day has impacted your life. Come, let's try to understand it in today's video. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack. Oh my God. In a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. Now, this is what it looked like moments ago. It was the morning of the 11th of September. American Airlines Flight 11 takes off from Boston's International Airport. The destination of this flight was Los Angeles. Around 92 people were aboard this airplane, of whom 11 were crew members and 81 were passengers. About 15 minutes after the flight took off, it comes to be known that of the 81 passengers, 5 were hijackers. These hijackers hijacked the plane by overpowering the passengers, forcing their way into the cockpit. One of them was Mohammed Atta. He was trained as a pilot. By nationality, he was an Egyptian and was 33 years old. He takes away the control of the plane from the pilot and co-pilot and flies the plane straight towards the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center was a monumental historic building in America then. And at one point, they were the tallest building in the world. It was the pride of New York. The hijackers crashed the plane into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Whoa, what is that? Somebody hit the World Trade Center. It's 8:52 in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that there has been a plane crash in the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. This crash took place in the morning at 8:46 a.m. The then president of the USA, George Bush, was on a tour of a school in Florida. While he was on the way, his White House chief of staff was informed of this crash. He tells George Bush, but Bush couldn't believe it. He says that it's unbelievable that anyone could even do that. He says that surely the pilot would have suffered a heart attack. That's why the plane crashed into the building. How else could it happen? Sir, it appears a small 2-engine crop plane crashed into one of the towers at the World Trade Center in New York City. Our collective response was, oh, what a horrible accident. The pilot must have had a heart attack or something. Only 17 minutes later, it comes to be known the United Airlines Flight 175 had also been hijacked by 5 hijackers. Once again, the hijackers overpowered the pilots and take away the control of the plane. Because only 17 minutes after the first crash, these hijackers once again turned towards the World Trade Center and crashed the plane into the South Tower. The second crash into the second tower. By this time, US President George Bush had reached the school and was in a classroom with the children of 2nd grade. He was in the midst of a reading exercise named The Pet Goat. This time, his chief of staff, Andrew Gadd, went in the classroom and whispered into his ears, "America is under attack." But George Bush stays in the classroom. He continued the reading exercise, and for the next 7 minutes, the exercise continued. He interacted with the children. He took photos with the children and the teachers, complimented the children. These 7 minutes were very critical because in these 7 minutes, the news spread worldwide that 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. Later, many people criticized George Bush for this, asking why he didn't take immediate action. When it was known that 2 planes were hijacked, America was attacked, there were crashes, he remained in the classroom in those minutes, ignoring all these. A few minutes after the second plane crash, the news of 2 more planes being hijacked comes in. One was American Airlines Flight 77. It had taken off from Washington's International Airport. This flight was headed to Los Angeles, and it was also carrying 5 hijackers. The second flight was United Airlines Flight 93, the flight going from New Jersey to California. Apparently it had 4 hijackers. Both flights were rerouted to Washington, D.C. Friends, Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States of America. On the outskirts of Washington, D.C. is the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense. It is called the Pentagon. Friends, the Pentagon is an iconic building too. Hijackers turned Flight 77 towards this, and Flight 77 was crashed into the Pentagon building. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon, it would appear that there has been another major explosion, this one in the nation's capital. At this point in time, after the third crash, the entire airspace of the United States was shut down.